Maurice Jones-Drew, NFL Network analyst, former NFL running back, Mojo, part of NFL Network's coverage coming up this weekend of the opening weekend NFL season. Mojo, how are you?
Don, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I wanted to have you on for a couple of reasons, but first of all, you got Ezekiel Elliott missing all of training camp. I know he was working out in Mexico. How much does that matter at that position that you weren't there for training camp?
It doesn't. I mean, for him, it doesn't really matter. I think every situation is different. You can't put, every player in one category and say, "Oh, this is going to work out for him or not." And you got to remember, Zeke has missed time throughout the season. I think he was suspended a couple of years ago, and came back and was just fine. So, for me, I expect Zeke to be ready to roll. It's so funny. Everyone goes, "Oh, he's going to get hurt." Like, how many people got hurt during training camp?
Yeah.
Everyone, right? So it's football. That's part of playing football. Guys get banged up. So for me, Zeke understood his worth. The Cowboys understood his worth, obviously, with that contract they gave him, and now it's time to go get it. And I think having Zeke there and Dak there, that they're ready and primed and ready to try to win the AFC East.
I don't know if you agree with me, but I said if you take away all the quarterbacks and you were looking at the most valuable player for a team, I said Ezekiel Elliott might be my guy because you can go to the Super Bowl with him. Without him, you may not make the playoffs. What do you think of that?
No, I agree 110% with you. That was my argument the whole time. We saw what the Cowboys were without Ezekiel Elliott. And that's why Jerry and obviously the Cowboys front office worked hard to get that deal done. Just because, again, like this is a production-based business. You got to produce, and producing means getting victories. And so I want to say they won one game or something without Ezekiel Elliott, and the numbers that they were putting up were just not even close. And as much as everyone loves Tony Pollard, and he did a great job this preseason, he's not Ezekiel Elliott. So you wanted all that stuff. We also got to remember, too, they have a first-year play caller in
Kellen Moore.
So Kellen Moore has – I mean, you want to make sure your play caller is comfortable, too. You got to give him all his weapons out there, and so he can be ready as well. So they have some issues, but I think, getting Zeke back will help kind of get everything rolling. And I'm confident the Cowboys will be in that NFC playoff race here pretty soon.
I'm wondering if we see this from Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey, what we saw with Ezekiel Elliott. I
don't think you're going to see it from Christian McCaffrey. I think they're going to get that deal done early.
Okay, but is Saquon Barkley going to say 2 years out, hey, you've used me for 3 years, I produced, and I want to get paid now, as opposed to waiting for this to come up and you franchise me or something like that?
Even in Saquon's case, you would think that the Giants would watch and see how this kind of has played out for the Pittsburgh Steelers and now the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Chargers, that is a distraction. And you want to make sure that your player, your locker room understands. Like, there is no – it's so funny to me when I look at these teams and how they try to run their organization. You don't have to play hardball with your best player. Everyone in the locker room knows Saquon. Everyone in the Cowboys locker room knows that Zeke is their best player on the field. That's just what we know. Is when you're in the locker room and when you see a guy, you're like, okay, he's the best guy. But if you don't treat him or take care of him in those situations, other guys in the locker room are like, well, man, if you did that to Zeke, you'd do it to me.
Yeah.
And I always try to use other organizations like I call the Rams games on radio, but the way they've taken care of their business, it's unbelievable. I mean, you took care of Todd early, then you take care of Jared Goff early, and mind you, none of this is played out through the media either. No, I didn't even know that Jared Goff, and I work for the organization, that Jared Goff was working on an extension.
Yeah.
Right, and so they take care of it a certain way. And guess what? The players in the locker room know that Jared earned that right to do that. He took them to the Super Bowl after 2 years. Every year they've gotten better when McVay's gotten there. They took care of Todd Gurley because of the big year that he had. I mean, they take care of their guys early so that they don't want their players to be upset. They saw how it was when Aaron was holding out twice. They didn't like that. And so they're like, all right, it's our job to get ahead of the ball or ahead of the curve and try to take care of our players. And so, I mean, these teams that do this whole thing like we're going to wait and try to get you cheaper, as you see now, players, I mean, first of all, social media allows you to see everyone's contract. There's certain people on social media that, the insiders and other people that tell you what people are making. And so as a player where your value is. And it's important that the team sees that as well, and they switch the way they do business a little bit.
Why is the next quarterback always the highest paid player in the game? Jared Goff got paid. Is Dak Prescott going to get more than Jared Goff just because he's the next man up?
Yeah, I guess that's the way it goes. It should go like that. I mean, there's some quarterbacks that got paid that shouldn't have gotten paid a lot of money, but because they're the next guy up, they go.
But I don't understand that, Mojo.
I don't either. But I tell you what, Dak has earned the right to do that. Dak has taken his team, I want to say since he's been in the league, the wins that he has since he's been in the league is right behind Tom Brady, which means he deserves the right to be up there. I want to say that, Dak has proven to be a winner. If you look in that playoff game against Seattle, he took it over in the fourth quarter with his legs and his arm and made some plays for them to win a playoff game. So, he's earned the right to do it. Now, I have to say this because I do get kind of aggressive when I talk about teams, but kudos to Jerry Jones and the Cowboys because they were able. I didn't even know Jalen Smith was up to get a deal done or Lyle Collins, and so to find a way to get all these deals done in a matter of what, I don't know, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean that's a lot of hard work that Cowboys were able to do, and they were able to get it done.
Yeah, well, I think that they did those deals. It allowed them to free up some more cap space so they could get the Zeke deal done. At least that's what I was told. But I think that it was
smart.
Yeah, I agree. Everybody said, "Oh, Jerry's a hardliner, and you don't want to negotiate with Jerry." And I went, nowadays, I would negotiate against Jerry. 25 years ago, 20 years ago, no, I wouldn't. But I thought if you knew that Zeke was worth, I don't know why it took this long. If both sides sort of knew what it was going to take, maybe Zeke did what he set out to do. I want to be the highest paid running back. I don't want to be in training camp. I want to get, $50 million guaranteed. And so maybe you check the boxes on all those, and it worked out great for both sides.
Yeah, again, I think people are going to say, I don't know. I mean, there's a couple writers that are on Twitter. I don't try to give them any recognition because they're haters. But I think when you look at Zeke, every player is different, and every organization is different with those players. So you may not, for example, pay whoever at this organization because you may have other pieces around them. But when it comes to the Cowboys, you said it best. Zeke is what we call the Jenga piece. If he's not in there, that whole thing is caving down. I don't care how good your defense is. I don't care what your offensive line looks like. If Ezekiel Elliott is not back there, you're not going to win. I think there's a couple other teams like that as well.
What's more surprising, that the Raiders fined Antonio Brown or Antonio Brown told you what the Raiders fined him for missing those practices?
Neither are surprising. I think, we had known that the Raiders were going to fine him once you miss. It doesn't matter if it was excused or unexcused. Like, the team is going to fine you. Now, the key is, are they going to that letter? We all get those letters, but sometimes the teams don't. They don't follow through with the fine. The real surprise is that the deal he has with Zenith, the helmet company. Yeah, I think that was create your own helmet is pretty nice. I wish I would have, I went through that in the NFL, just so you know. I think there's like a bunch of us that went through it where the league takes away your helmet and you have to find another one.
What was wrong with yours?
It just was old, I guess. It was just old. It was a helmet that I played with. I forget the name of it, but it was a helmet that I played with in Pop Warner, that I played with in high school, that I played with in college. It was the exact same helmet. When I got to the league, I want to say until 2009 or 10, maybe, they said you couldn't wear that helmet anymore. And I was like, no, I played with this helmet for my whole life. Like, this was like, I think I had that helmet longer than I had some underwear and socks. You know what I mean?
But do you think players care more about safety, health, or comfort?
It's all the same. If you're comfortable out there, then you feel safe, right? I remember wearing this new helmet, and I remember playing. There's a clip out there where I'm playing against the Colts, and someone hits me. And we had an issue with this helmet because when we start to sweat the new helmet, sometimes they don't. Just because it's new, it's not like it doesn't have the wear, not even the wear, but just the tightness of it. I guess when you start to sweat, it pops off. Well, I'm playing a game, and I go to score a touchdown against the Colts, and I get in, but my helmet pops off. I get hit, and my helmet pops off, right? And so those are some of the issues that you get with new helmets. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what type of helmet it is. It's just the fact that, it's a new helmet, and it has to get that wear on the inside of you running in it and sweating in it and getting, kind of molding to your skull a little bit. So it happens. But, I try to tell everyone, I understand what Antonio Brown was going through. I mean, Tom Brady went through it. Aaron Rodgers. We all go through it at one point in our career. There's a helmet that you've been so comfortable with, and then the league says, hey, you can't wear it anymore. You have to try to find a new one, and then you got to make sure it fits, and it's tough. I mean, I just think, because Hard Knocks was there, I think because of the foot injuries, the helmet situation just ended up being bigger than what it was.
What are your Super Bowl picks?
Well, Miami's my favorite city. I don't know if I told you that before.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Miami's one of my favorite cities, so I have to pick my two favorite teams to go, Jags and Rams. Hopefully they both make it, and then whoever wins, I get a Super Bowl ring,
You'll get one for the Jags?
I mean, I would hope so.
Why are you getting one?
I would hope everyone would get one for the Jags. All 25 years, every player it's the first one. Everybody should get one.
I don't think it works that way.
Listen, we're putting it out there in the universe, so hopefully, the Jags are listening.
Okay, wait, Mo.
Your boy won.
Would Blake Bortles, backup quarterback for the Rams, get a Super Bowl ring if the Jags won?
I think he should.
You're crazy.
Well, for him, he's in the same boat as me. I think he gets an opportunity to get both as well. Why not?
No, you were great for them. There's a difference.
He went to the AFC Championship game. I never went.
I know. But yeah, I saw some stats on you, Mo. Here you go.
Yeah.
Most rushing touchdowns, first 4 seasons in the NFL all time. You know who's number one?
No, who?
Terrell Davis. He had 56 touchdowns first 4 years. Eric Dickerson, Earl Campbell, LaDainian Tomlinson, Adrian Peterson, Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, and Maurice Jones-Drew.
Wow.
That's pretty good. You and Jim Brown tied at 49 touchdowns first 4 years.
Man, close.
And then what happened?
That up there. I don't know. I thought I scored a couple still after that. You started getting, it's funny. I started to we started facing some teams that would, put a lot of guys in the box, and we'd have to air it out a little bit, but it was still good though.
Well, you still had one of the great seasons by a running back in history when I think you rushed for 1,600 yards, and everybody knew you were getting the football, and you still somehow rushed for that total. That was always one of the more impressive seasons.
I appreciate that, and I'm glad you brought that up because I think a lot of people look at just the running back that had to do with it, but our receivers bought in that year to block, which was crazy, right? It's the NFL. You wouldn't think receivers would be out there blocking, but they did that in our offensive line, and everyone did a good job. And I have to, we went through a lot that season, but that was one thing we could salvage as a team. And I still talk to those guys today about it. So it's something that we were able to do, and I have to thank everyone for that.
You did.
It was nice.
You had 6 fumbles that season, though.
Oh yeah, because I was trying to get somewhere. I don't know if you ever heard that. Have you ever heard that term?
Trying to get somewhere?
Yeah, I was trying to get somewhere. So I was a little loosey goosey with the ball, trying to get up out of there.
I don't try to get there. I get there.
Yeah, but the problem, Dan, is you don't have 12 other guys trying to stop you. And I mean 12.
Wait, there were 12?
Like they had extra guys. I'm telling you, I don't know if the refs were seeing it. There must have been a 12th guy on the field half the time. You know what I mean?
Mojo, I carry 4 guys 3 hours a day in this man cave.
Well, you should be strong. You should be ready for that. We weren't, we kind of got adjusted to it towards the end of the year. No, hold on. One of those games was against the Panthers in what we call the monsoon game. You remember that game? Do you remember it was like it rained you probably wouldn't remember because who's your favorite team?
I don't have a favorite team.
Okay, good. Well,
I like winners.
We're playing the Panthers. Okay, good. You like this one. We're playing the Panthers, and I think this is Cam Newton first year too. We're playing the Panthers, and in 30 minutes it rained 6 inches, and we were playing like in a lake at one point. And that kind of, I think I fumbled twice in that game, but that wasn't my fault. It was raining. Can't blame me. You got to blame the water. Blame Mother Nature for that.
Cam didn't have any fumbles.
You got to look it up. I don't know. He might have fumbled the ball. I don't know.
Who's a better running back, you or Cam Newton?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think now that Cam's not going to be running anymore, I'd have to say myself. I had a longer shelf life. But, I mean, it's tough, man. Cam is 6'6", 250. I was only 5'8", 207. So it's a little. We had two different running styles. But I don't know if Cam can run the routes out of the backfield, though. I just think
Well, you're a better passer, but he might be a better runner.
Yeah, I don't know how. I did throw a couple. I threw 2 passes in the league. One got picked off, and one got caught for a touchdown. So I think my QBR is up there.
You're
pretty
cute.
good.
Hey, great to talk to you, and have fun during the season. We'll catch up with you soon, hopefully.
You know what? And before I go, now that I think about it, I feel like the Jags owe me a couple of dollars because I did throw the ball a little bit, and the way these quarterbacks are getting paid, I mean, I wouldn't mind a check in the mail. You know what I mean?
We'll work on that and the Super Bowl ring.
My man. I appreciate you. See you guys later.
Thank you. That's Maurice Jones-Drew, from former Pro Bowl running back.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.